Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for joining me for the fourth episode of my tutorial on Sorare. In the previous episodes, I talked to you about the blockchain cards and how to use them. In this episode, I will explain how to buy them and how to trade them. Let's start by a general introduction of the marketplace and the different routes to market for the sellers. In the next few slides, I will focus exclusively on the Sorare platform. I know that it is possible to trade cards on OpenSea, and I suppose that technically you could also transfer your cards to someone via Ethereum, but I will not cover this time. I'll see if I can catch the blockchain experts in the community to explain the alternatives in a separate tutorial. When you want to buy cards on the Sorare platform, you basically have three options: competing in auctions for new prints in the transfer market, purchase second-hand cards listed by managers on the marketplace, or try bilateral approaches via an unsolicited direct offer to another manager. For new issued prints, the price is initially unknown as suitors compete in auctions. Given the format, you cannot be certain that you'll be able to complete the sale. However, you can have a good idea of the timing for the deal to close. For manager sales, the sellers set the ask price, so both price and execution are certain if you want to close the deal. As soon as you hit confirm, the card is yours. It's therefore the quickest way to buy cards. When you want to buy a card, there are two offsetting dynamics that you need to understand about the two sections of the transfer market. Sellers who proactively decide to sell must consider that the cards have a limited value to build a team or to win a tournament, which should lead to lower prices on the secondary market. If on top of that you consider the adrenaline generated in auctions, you can expect that prices should be higher in auctions than in the secondary market. On the other hand, execution certainty speaks to higher prices in secondary market. So when there are a lot of users on the platform who value speed of execution, typically when new joiners are craving for cards to build a collection irrespectively of their gameplay value, then prices on the secondary market quickly exceed prices in auctions. In that case, some users put cards on the secondary market at a very high price, certainly more than they were acquired for in auctions few hours before, and they hope for new joiners to buy it. The last option to acquire cards is to send an unsolicited offer directly to the owner of one or several cards. In that case, the buyer sets the price, but he has no control on timing for response or on whether the offer will be accepted. Pre-discussing or negotiating on Discord helps reducing execution risk, but it takes more time and leads to price uncertainty. Such discussions on Discord can lead to a trade of cards whereby the buyer makes an offer for one or several cards and pay with Ether and/or cards. The platform allows you to send Ether, but not to request Ether in exchange for cards you want to send. Those trades are difficult to engineer, so even if you have a good idea of the transaction you want to complete, execution risk is high and speed of execution is slow. When you want to sell a card via direct offer, you need to find a buyer on Discord, since you can't request someone to send you Ether. So similarly to trades, you may have a good idea of what you want to achieve in terms of price, but execution would be slow and the outcome is uncertain. To increase the odds of successfully selling a card, putting a card for sale on the transfer market guarantees to reach virtually all the users on the platform. In that case, as a seller, you set the price and list your card in the manager sales section of the transfer market, hoping for a buyer to buy. In the time frame, execution certainty is low, but if someone is interested, no interaction is necessary, so the deal is closed immediately. You should bear in mind that execution certainty is generally low, so you should not bank on the fact that you can quickly liquidate your collection at a good price. So now we've covered the theory, let's have a look at the transfer market in practice. Let me first get something out of the way. Sorare is not a trading platform, so do not expect to find advanced information on price, volume, volatility, and so on. If this information is made available one day, it will be through third parties. I know that there are people working on development in the background, but have no idea of expected time of delivery. The transfer market is the homepage of the Sorare website. At the time of this video shot, it was possible to participate in auctions for bundles of Juventus cards, but this should be considered as an exception. Typically, new prints are sold in the first section of the transfer market, where you can participate in auctions. Do not hesitate to use the filters on top to have a more focused approach. The filters remain active across the different tabs, so you can continue to search onto the manager sales section. There is no auction, so purchases are immediate. There are a number of advanced filters available by clubs, by nationality, age, you name it, and some stats as well. The advanced filters can be combined with the basic filters for position and scarcity. And you can also sort the cards according to several criteria, such as date of listing, end of an auction, highest price, lower price, and so on. We have now narrowed down the selection to midfielders of Juventus, and we can see that there are 4 Blaise Matuides in the market. I need to pause here because we have just gone through a relatively long process to find out that there are several similar cards on the marketplace. I'm generally very adamant of Sorare, but this is probably an area where the platform is suboptimal today, or even a bit confusing. There are sometimes several thousands of cards in the market, and as a buyer it's not always easy to see all the cards, whilst as a seller nothing guarantees that your card will be seen. If you are a buyer, here is an important tip to avoid making newbies mistake and buy a card at an outrageously expensive price when there is a cheaper option available. So always click on the card, go on the player's page, and screen through all the player's cards. If you sort by lower price, you'll see all the cards that are in the market first and sorted by price. Given I was looking for midfielders of Juventus and ended up on Blaise Matuidi, an alternative would have been not to look in the marketplace, but to use the search bar to focus on Juventus players and sort by lower price to see all the Juventus players in the market. This approach also works for countries, by the way, as shown here with the example of Japan. For the avoidance of doubt, you can also use the filters of the marketplace to filter on one or several players. I'll show only one here, but you can select as many as you want by using the search feature in the advanced filter. The volume of cards auctioned each week increases in line with the amount of active managers. The different scarcities are kept in line with overall production percentages, and opening prices are 0.01 Ether for rare cards, 0.1 for super rare, and 1 for unique cards. Auctions tend to heat up in the last few minutes, and if a bid is placed with under 1 minute remaining, the clock resets back to 1 minute. Auctions escalate gradually, and you can decide to set a higher price than the usual incremental 10%. Given the clock resets to 1 minute, auctions can take very long. So don't plan to close on an auction between 2 meals during a dinner. When you've placed a bid on a card, and even if you are no longer the highest bidder, the card is listed in a different page which summarizes all your ongoing auctions. This page, by the way, also summarizes the cards you are currently selling, as well as all the cards you have put a bid on in the past. Here you see that some have been put back on the market. I also want to show you what happens when you complete an auction. You can follow the auction from the marketplace or directly on the cards page. I strongly suggest that you refresh regularly in the last minute so that you don't miss a new bid and believe that the card is yours. You can only be sure that the auction has ended when, after refreshing the page, you don't see the countdown and the list of bids anymore. You are not necessarily identified as the owner straight away, given it takes a while for the cards to be transferred to your collection. Approximately 1 minute after the end of the auction, a pop-up should confirm that you have won the auction. However, it can take up to 5 minutes for the card to show in your gallery. So don't panic, it's just a matter of minutes. I understand that the delay is due to the transfer on the blockchain, but I don't really know the exact technical intricacies. And this also happens when a card is transferred via direct offers. Manager sales is the quickest way to acquire cards, but a lot of cards are put out there at a price significantly above market price. And you can see it by clicking on the card. Very often the card was acquired few hours before at a significantly lower price. So in my view, direct offers are a much better way to make good deals, in particular if you engage with a user on Discord beforehand to negotiate. A quick tip, find a player that someone has duplicates of, in particular one that has been won through rewards. Here with the example of Ito, I first go through the whole list and see that O'Shea has 3 ethos, and one of them was a reward. The one out of 100 cards might be expensive, given they have a certain collectible value, which I will explain in the next episode, but he may be open to sell a card with a different issue number. Just FYI, he was not a seller at the time of this video, so please don't overwhelm him with direct offers for Ito. Or if you do, please make a good offer so that he sees some upside of being put in the spotlight. Now I want to show how direct offers work, starting with accepting an offer. This is pretty straightforward, but always double check what you are accepting. To send an offer, the first step is to find the user you want to trade with. Choose the amount of Ether you want to send, then the cards you want to send, and finally the cards you want to receive. You cannot select cards that are already on the market. They are just not available for direct offers. Check everything, and it is sent. Until the offer is accepted, you can cancel it. Whilst I'm waiting for the offer to be accepted, there are a couple of things I want to clarify. First, through direct offers, you can send Ether, but you cannot ask to receive Ether. Also, for the purpose of this tutorial, I've been transferring cards between 2 accounts I manage, but multi-accounts, again, is against the terms of use of the platform, and back and forth trading between several accounts is the best way for the team to identify multi-accounts. I make sure I don't submit teams in the same divisions as Flipper, otherwise it would be cheating. When you are about to accept direct offers, pay close attention to the terms. Some ill-intentioned managers send offers at very low prices, hoping to trigger a fat finger error. The two-step process helps preventing validation or rejection by mistake. A question I often receive: what happens if I sell my card during a weekend and the player is in a SO5 team? If one of your cards is used in a fantasy team for a tournament, you can transfer it after the tournament has started. Its point will count for you in the tournament and the card will gain XP. So to be clear, points count for you if transfer takes place after the tournament starts on Friday and the team was validated beforehand. If a player is sold just before the tournament deadline, your whole squad is cancelled. That's it for this 4th episode on marketplace and trading. I let you digest all this, and next time I'll cover more conceptual aspects about the value of the cards. In the meantime, if you have not done so yet, I'll let you sign up by using my referral code below and get a free rare card. Thank you for joining, and see you next time.